today, you guys, we're going to go over basically the platform that we're all using and how much it's benefited us. And we're going to kind of talk about different things, and I'll pull up different people to to talk about their experience with those specific situations or scenarios. Okay. But first, I want to invite Samir, the man that's pretty much the behind the scenes. What do you want to call it? Creator of the platform that we use and how it's all helped us. Where this kind of all started off from. Samir, if you could kind of talk about a little bit, and when I say a little bit, I'm emphasizing a little bit about how we sort of came up with the dream of having a CRM or a platform with all these different avenues for agents.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on the call. So I hate when we reference the word, just the CRM, whatever, right? I like,
right, because it's more than that.
The platform's better, right? It's the platform. Right. The CRM it's a CRM.
It's a tool, yeah.
It's a tool, right? There's a bunch of CRMs, there's a bunch of stuff out there. But the reasoning for this is there's a modern way to do this business, right? There's a way to treat this business like a traditional sale, right? We have a great product, right? We get out and we help families, doing it the old way. For those of you guys that have been here a while, when we used to do face-to-face, it was great. Sales are awesome. It's just not efficient, and it's really, really hard to scale it. So, we have to do a more modern way. So the CRM, we're pretty early before all these other, there's a bunch of other CRMs, there's HubSpot, there's all these other CRMs out there, right? We just wanted a little bit more of an efficient way to be able to operate this business. But the thing that we were really passionate about was doing this virtually and just kind of figuring it out. Now, there's a lot of you guys that have maybe come from another agency that maybe you have had some stuff virtually, right? Our model here has been to create a group, one, that likes each other. It takes a lot of people to build something really, really cool, right? This is not a one person, two people type of deal. I mean, this is an entire community, right? And that's actually what this really is. It's more of a community. Our product is insurance. We help a lot of families. Our culture is all of us, right? So the CRM, the support team, the Discord, all the different tools that we're kind of putting in here. The goal is just to kind of build a platform for all of us so we can all work together and help each other and pull each other out of the trenches. For me, that's what this is about, right? In this business, financial services is the number one industry in America, which means, if you're ever wondering if you're in the right industry, you are, right?
So are you saying, Samir, that one size doesn't fit all? Is that what
is that what it comes out to?
Sounds like to me that we're tailor-made, man. It sounds like the point you're trying to get across is that we have so many different in our platform, so many different avenues that an agent can hop on and plug and play. Many different lead types, many different ways, whether that be Facebook or Hall of Fame or other lead generation companies that are connected within our platform, so that the agent him or herself has tons of resources. That way they can not only help clients, but also feed their families. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think one of the biggest things that you guys are going to hear us talking about a lot, and I mean, I want to plant the seed here, but advisors, not peddlers, right? That should become our motto.
Absolutely.
Our mentality shift really should be on, how can we can bring up all kinds of leads. Like, we're getting really good at the marketing stuff, you guys, and we're going to get better and better and better, right? But are we able to close on the opportunities that are presented to us every single time? The answer to that's no, right? So I'm trying to figure out a way to combat that, because we can bring in all kinds of leads, but the next phase is making sure that everybody's properly trained enough to be able to get a mortgage protection lead and flip it into a dental vision or an answer or something type of policy, right? Marketing opens up a lot more, and it becomes a lot easier to work with people, right? When we can kind of jump in and work with some of these different products, right? And I know you're going to talk about that here just a little bit.
Actually, I think it's a perfect segue to have that individual jump in right now. You ready, Micah?
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Let's see if we can get you pinned up here. Now, I got one question for you, Micah, because it's been, we know each other, but not that well, right?
Just a little bit, Paul.
But yeah, one of the things I was always talking about is, your fashion and how you stay up on it. Do you and Samir shop at the same place? Like Dads R Us, or I'm just wondering, because I need to get,
I can't
I
say
got
that
a
I
young
have,
kid now, so I need to like
but
up my game up to look like all I do is golf. You know what I mean? Because
Samir
my
called me on
brain,
Saturday. We talked a lot of things, but not about our fashion.
That's exactly what we talked about. Hey, for what it's
Listen.
worth, at the conference I was at last week, I wore a suit and everything. Paul, you're my witness,
That's true. I did see a suit for the first time in a long time. All right. So, hey, Micah, the reason we wanted you to jump on here, man, is again, taking our resources and then taking it a bit further, right? And a lot of people don't know that they have the ability with their health license to sell things like dental, or people know about the cancer policy, but maybe not know how to sell it or where to go for that kind of stuff. So you did a sale just recently, and I think you added dental and something else. What was it?
It was a heart attack and stroke policy as well.
Okay. So can you explain to us first and foremost, why not just a regular whole life or term policy? Why would you add those?
Well, do you want to help the client in one dimension, or do you want to help the client in multiple dimensions? Do you want to get paid on one policy, or do you want to get paid on multiple policies? Right? If you have a license to help someone, why just use part of it? I think it's weird if you don't.
On that just for a sec, man. Just a really ramble story. Cross-selling into, multiple policies and things like that is only meant to make the business stickier for you, right? As a matter of fact, the client that you had, Micah, was somebody that was actually calling you back asking for something like that too, right?
Yeah, he was an existing client. One of my other agents helped him out with an annuity and with life insurance. That agent actually did not have their health license, so it was kind of a referral. But he wanted some help with his health stuff because he recently got kind of screwed over by his employer, and they took some of his benefits away, actually. And so he was like, I want something that I can control, that I don't have to rely on my employer. So yes, we did help him out with that, and he was super grateful.
Yeah. The cross-selling thing is amazing. I do a little bit of health insurance on the side, some ACA this past season. So my dad has a health guy that he's been going to since 2014. Okay. This guy is so damn good. And I've just observed him over the years. He's so freaking good. And, he's good at keeping the relationship. My dad's a proud Bosnian man, and, the guys did homework on Bosnia. So every time he talks to my dad, he gets him talking about all this stuff. My dad loves this guy. Anyways, where this is going is, I swapped my dad to an ACA plan this year, so I can be the agent of record. He was so pissed at me. He wanted to go back to the other guy. And the other guy was like, dude, he sold you a cancer policy. He sold you all this other stuff. You don't need that. I do the same exact stuff. He's like, no, you're messing up my relationship with him. He's so good. I don't care what he sold me. I wanted to work with him, but this guy was able to kind of leverage the relationship and kind of cross all these different things, right? So my own dad's not my client. He works with this other guy because the other guy, was able to kind of expand his product lines with him. So that's definitely a focus for us, you guys. Expanding our reach a little. Marketing is going to continue to get better, but we got to evolve too, right? So Micah, thanks for sharing that, dude.
Appreciate you, man. Next up, I want to pull up is Ty. Ty, you ready to rock and roll?
Sure. What do you want to know, man?
One of the things we want to talk about is annuities. It's something that you and I sort of started at the same time, but I kind of fell off on the training, and you went and mastered it and specialized in it. And I think, man, the job you've done with the annuities and understanding how all that works has been phenomenal. So first, thank you for being that person to kind of help lead us all in figuring out IULs and annuities, because really it started with IULs. So kind of jumping into annuities, right? One of the things I wanted to let people know is it's not as hard as people would think to kind of get started. So what's some of the things that someone needs to do in order to get started with annuities?
Yeah, well, there's kind of two routes. There's if you're going to do them yourself, or if you're going to like split them, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're going to do annuities yourself, you generally, for most of the country, you're going to need a 4-hour annuity class and a 4-hour best interest class. If you're in California, you might also have to do an 8-hour annuity class. Now, yeah, me too. If you're in Iowa, you got a little extra too. And then you're gonna have to get contracted and do the product specific training. You're probably gonna have to do I think now it's a requirement to do the AMS training or whatever that team is calling themselves now, which I think there's links in the binder and stuff to get that done. After you've got all that training, then you're ready to write. Now, annuities are very easy to pitch. They're very easy to sell people. They're not complicated products. The complicated part is the application. There are so many, like what I call like little like landmines, like little areas, like you're like, oh, they have a 401k. Let me put the value of their 401k in the 401k box. Oh, but you put it in the wrong 401k box and now you got declined. You know, there are so many little things that like, it's a rollover. Oh no, sorry, it's a transfer. Like you selected the wrong word, so now your like application got declined. So really, it's really easy to get into, but you definitely should have somebody help you with your first few, whether that's me or the AMS team or somebody else on our team that understands annuities.
Let's say someone has questions and for some reason you're not available. Do the carriers themselves also help?
Mm-hmm. Yep, you can call the carriers. The carriers, unlike a lot of our like life insurance carriers, the carriers do actually like get back to you pretty quickly and are able to help. On average, they're very good. They're a lot better than asking questions like on the life or on the health or life and health side of things.
Perfect. And then quick question, then we can kind of wrap this up. How does one find someone that it might be an annuity candidate? And then how do they pivot from there to get help from someone like you?
We kind of went over that in that other meeting, but the main things are if they've got at least 50,000 in some kind of account, in a 401k, in savings, in a TSP, in whatever. They have some kind of investment or retirement account with at least $50,000. You know, just ask them, hey, what if you could turn that money into a guaranteed income and protect it from the market so that it couldn't lose any money even if the market went down? If that's something that just sounds interesting to you, let me set up a meeting with my advanced product expert. I'll text you his availability and then you just call me up, you know, or whoever else you're working with and set an appointment and I'll figure it out. I think that's the easiest way. There's some like nuances, like if it's a 401k and they're still contributing to it, it would be nice if you ask them if they're allowed to like move that money, you know, if they can do what's called an in-service distribution, give them a little homework to contact their HR people, but I'll take the appointment even if they can't. You know, a lot of times we can, we can figure that out in that next appointment.
And chargebacks?
No, and after the first 30 days, no chargebacks.
That's awesome, right?
That's rad. And generally you're getting somewhere between 5 and 8% of all of the money moved. So that means if they move $1 million, like you find somebody that's just been contributing to a 401k, they got $2 million in there, $1 million annuity might net you, $80,000 split between you and somebody else. It's 40 grand non-chargebackable that you just get a check for 40 grand that hits your account like on a Tuesday.
Ain't that nice, huh?
Yeah, that's very
one last question for you, Ty. Where do you do your shopping for clothes?
I go to T-Mart. It's a t-shirt outlet. That's where I got this from.
Hey, thanks, Ty, for jumping on. Really appreciate you, man.
Last part really quick, man. You told me that you were chasing one annuity a week. Looks like you're kind of doing that, man.
Yeah, I've been hitting about one annuity a week. So I hit between 1 and 2 of my own, and then between 3 and 4 from referrals a month. So I've been hitting about one a week lately.
Oh, man. Congratulations, brother.
Thanks. Yeah, they're small, but I've got over $500,000 now pending, or like just waiting for transfers and stuff.
Cool, man. Well, let's segue over to AMER. Let's see if we can pull AMER up here. What's up, big dog? How you doing?
What's going on, man? I'm doing good. How about you?
Not bad, man. You're getting outdoors. It's warming up in Iowa, huh?
Yeah, man. Finally, it's been up and down, but I think this week's gonna be nice, so I gotta enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, reason I wanted to bring you on here is just to kind of show, one of the types of leads that we have with our platform, and that would be that we work really closely with Hall of Fame leads, right?
Yep.
And you've been doing it for a while and been pretty successful. Kind of explain to everybody, basically how a Hall of Fame lead works and why you feel like it's been such a great lead for you in your business.
Yeah. So Hall of Fame, the way it works is obviously the vendor, they send out mail to these people's houses. I never really saw the mailer, but I assume it just kind of talks about mortgage protection. And then there's a number on the form that they send out for the actual client to call in. Once they call into that line, they have to like use their mortgage ID number, and then they verify their health on the line. So it asks them if they're a smoker, non-smoker, cancer, diabetes, that kind of stuff. If the client completes the entire call, it comes back to you as a complete lead. So it means the client completed the entire call. But let's just say the client calls in and they don't answer all the questions, it comes back as incomplete. Those incomplete leads are still good to work. The way I kind of view it is maybe the client just got busy, didn't have time to complete the entire call. So I still treat it as a complete lead. So that's kind of the process and how kind of the lead generates. For me, what I've been doing with them is as soon as they come in, I give it a couple of hours. I don't call it right away. I give it a couple of hours and I give them a call. Either I hit it in the morning or I hit it at night.
Why do you feel like that strategy's worked better than calling right away?
Just because it's so fresh. Obviously, they receive a ton of stuff in the mail, right? So they receive like the actual aged mailers we used to run. They're still receiving that kind of stuff in the mail, but that takes a bit longer to actually go back to the actual vendor before they issue it out to people that actually buy those mailers. Hall of Fame is just so quick because as soon as they receive the mailer, they call in, you get that lead right away. So it doesn't have to go through the mail again to get back to you. It's very quick. So the best way I do is just to call it right away, because then it's fresh in their mind and they know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it makes sense. So you said one of the big strategies, and I think it's something that a lot of people don't do that's really big, is actually calling the incomplete leads. How successful have you been in calling the incomplete leads?
Really successful. I mean, I took a break from Hall of Fame in February to try out those digital leads. Didn't really work out as good for me. So I had to get back on Hall of Fame because with Hall of Fame, I was the most profitable. I mean, I was spending $772 a week. So roughly what comes out like $3,500 a month. So I was the most profitable on them. I obviously give them a call for, a day, 2 days, 2-3 days. And then if they don't answer, that's when I put them in the CRM.
And then, so let's say you're spending the 700, what does that roughly come out to per lead for a brand new mortgage protection lead? Because that's essentially what it is.
I mean, the website says it's a 5% return rate, right? So you're not like guaranteed a set amount of leads to come back. But in a full week, I mean, I get about, I would say about 15, maybe 20 complete leads. That's kind of my numbers. I get about 10, 20. Out of those 20, obviously, you're still going to run into some that are not interested, who just assume they had a call in. And I typically close at least about 5, 8 of them at least in that 1 week. And that's just my numbers. There's people out there who are more experienced than me, but for me, I close at least 5 or 8 a week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Man, thanks, brother. Just another segue, but I don't know if Anthony's on a call. He texted me that he was on, but are you available, Anthony?
Yeah, I can talk.
Perfect, man. So AMER is doing HOF. What a lot of people may or may not know, Anthony has created a lead very much like a Hall of Fame lead, and we call it Nexus. And if you could kind of talk about your leads and what you've learned as you've developed a newer strategy and how it's helped.
Yeah, so I mean, they're just like Hall of Fame leads, right? They're just call-in mortgage protection leads, where people get the card, they call the number, and it explains what mortgage protection is. For those of you that don't know, it's integrated with our CRM. So with the Hall of Fame, my understanding is that you have to download them from their CRM and then import them, right? Or just call them directly from that CRM, which is fine. But ours just make it a little bit easier because they're integrated with the SimplyWorks CRM. What I've noticed is, the soonest, the quicker the lead can get in the door from the date that they closed on their mortgage, the higher the return rates are, right? And so what we found is that, with new mortgage, a lot of people like new mortgage data because they're really high intent and they're really high quality leads. But at the same time, there's a lot of competition, right, for that reason. And so what we've learned is that, when you mail the leads from different mail shops around the country, which allows the lead to get in the door a little bit sooner, we get higher return rates. So we've been experimenting with different mail houses where we'll mail kind of closer to the destination and we'll get higher returns. So really excited about that. And so I think with any lead in general, right, you want to resolve all your leads, but I think the biggest key with Hall of Fame or Nexus or any other type of, call-in mortgage protection lead, I think the key is that, you actually call all of the leads, right? Not just the completes, but the incompletes, And I know that if you're running a lot and you have a lot of appointments, probably hard for you to do that. So you're probably going to need to invest in a dialer, right? For them to actually call the leads. And, I know a lot of people, one thing I learned in this business from the very beginning, I learned this very quickly, which is I think one of the reasons why I've been able to be on the top of the leaderboard almost every single month. And that is to not be cheap with your business. And I remember Isaiah telling me that from the very get-go. He said, don't be cheap. It will pay you back tenfold, dude. You just got to put the money in and it will come back out. And so I've always been that way as far as when it comes to my production, right? And so when I think of a dialer, I'm like, okay, well, how much does a dialer really cost? Let's say they cost $500 a week, okay? But they're calling nonstop, right? Well, if I make one sell off of the work that dialer put in, and it's $1,000, let's say, I've already more than doubled what I would have paid that dialer, right? But is a dialer only going to help you make one more sell a week? Probably not, right? They're probably going to help you make at least 3, 4, 5 more sales a week than you would have otherwise, right? So, and not only that, but it takes a lot of the load off of you, makes you more effective with what you're actually good at, right? Which is closing deals and helping families. So the justification for a dialer is 100% there. That's kind of my 2 cents on it. Hopefully that helps.
It definitely does. And here's a question for either one of you. Actually, maybe you both can answer it. And we'll go with AMER first. Why do you like mortgage protection leads so much? What is it for you specifically that you generally like the mortgage protection leads?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just trying to master one thing at a time. So it's like if I can master mortgage protection, I feel like I can master selling anything else. I also feel like it's a bigger sale. And for me, I feel like mortgage protection stays on the books more because back when I was doing final expense, I tend to have a lot of like chargebacks. Maybe it was the way I was selling, or it was a lot of those direct express cards. So I was like, I definitely needed to change some things up, and that's kind of when I started looking at mortgage protection.
Thanks, AMER. Anthony?
Yeah, same thing. A little bit higher sales because they're already financially underwritten prospects, right? Because in order to qualify for a mortgage, they have to you have to have a certain debt to income ratio and that kind of thing. And so not to say that you're going to get people that aren't broke, right? You are, but generally speaking, right, you're going to get people that have a little bit more disposable income, right? Less chargebacks, less insufficient funds, right, that are coming through. And for me, I've always just related to that clientele a little bit more, a little bit better. So for me, it's just an easier sell. I wouldn't say easier because I sold final expense for a while, but I enjoy it more. So I think I just do better, when I enjoy it. So.
Hey, thanks guys, both of you for jumping on, and it's a perfect segue to going into dialers. So if we could have OUSMANE jump on. OUSMANE, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's going on? What's going on, Paul?
So good to see you, man. A lot of people, they already know I'm the best looking guy on here, but you kind of come in at number 2, OUSMANE. So, you understand the pain I go through.
What do you think people think?
They don't know. We're born like this, man. We wake up every day like this. But anyways, man, I wanted to jump in on dialers because recently you hired some dialers.
That's right.
I kind of want to jump in the process. It goes perfectly with what Anthony was saying and how it's helped your business. So kind of give us an idea. What stage are you at with the dialers, and why did you choose dialers?
Got it. So it really goes back to, we had a conversation in Dallas. I don't know if you remember when we were in the car coming from the restaurant. And then I was telling you that I felt like I was experiencing burnout. I'm calling clients, I'm calling those Hall of Fame leads, running appointments, I'm calling the carriers to make sure the policies go through. And I feel like it was just too much going on, and I wasn't focusing my time on income producing activities. And Anthony was telling me for a long time, hey, I think you should get a dialer. I was just being stubborn, just to be honest, right?
And you said that to me in the car.
Yeah, I was just thinking about, man, I have to spend money on having a dialer and she's gonna do this. I can do that myself. But I wasn't really thinking, man, if I get a dialer, she's really gonna take some things off my plate. And that's what happened. I talked to Anthony and he was like, yeah, I definitely think you should do it. She's been working with me for about 2 weeks now. And I can tell you, it just frees. I feel like I have so much more freedom to do other things now because I don't have to be on the phone dialing all these leads. I still dial from time to time because, I still want to just practice.
Good job, OUSMANE.
But at the same time, while she's dialing, I'm running appointments. While she's dialing, I'm calling my book of business. I sold 2 policies with existing clients last week because I had the free time to call those clients. Otherwise I will be on the phone calling this Hall of Fame and try to get them on the book. So I think that was really key. learning how to delegate, things in my business, because there's no way I can do everything, because I was just a one-man show trying to do everything. And I mean, it's
that's when the burnout
not easy
happens.
going through that route. So, I really encourage, I mean, if you planning on, and I think also one thing that happened since I got my dollar is that it's kind of like that extra pressure now that I have, like, hey, because I'm paying this person every single week.
Yep,
So I better
absolutely.
go to work. I better go to work. I better hit the phone. I better run those appointments, because otherwise it's just investments that just going down the drain. So yeah, it's been good for the first 2 weeks. But one thing that I would add is you also have to train them.
Yeah, and one of the things I think that's really important to let the people know too is just because you have a dollar, don't kick back, right? One thing AA's always said from the beginning is it frees up more time so you could dial too, right? More or other leads, because that's just going to enhance and blow up your business more. And it's the reason why people like yourself or Anthony are always at the top of the leaderboard, because you're not just relying on a specific source to do all the work for you. They're just an asset that's helping you.
One of the things that you do really, really well that I want to highlight is, too, is a lot of us, during the day, we're here, we're working, we're trying to get in front of our clients and things like that. But there's a lot of self-learning that has to happen in this business. It's not always just a call and, these things. We're always going to do as much as we can to share the wealth of knowledge on stuff. But there's a lot of self-learning, right? And one of the things that OUSMANE does really well is he goes and watches a video on how to sell a specific policy. How much time do you spend a week, OUSMANE, just kind of teaching yourself things?
I want to say at least an hour a day. I don't have a specific schedule. I mean, when I'm in the car driving, if I'm dropping off my son to school, I might listen to some videos. I mean, I'm always trying to add a little bit of something to my script, And then if I can add to like what Anthony said, it's so true, man. Like, I feel like if you cheapen the business, you're gonna get cheap result. Right? I heard somebody say, "Scared money don't make no money." Right? I mean, I can't tell you how many times I spent money on leads and didn't make any money. Spend thousands of dollars and didn't make any money, but eventually the skill came along the way. So don't be cheap in your business, man. Don't be afraid to spend, because it's gonna come back.
It's funny how people because in our nature, right? It's in our nature to do things the cheaper way, right? It's just our mindset, how we're kind of built. So it's scary for a lot of people to pour more money into something they're not sure of the success. But you can't get there to that success without putting money, which is an investment in yourself, right? It's a tough concept. You
either gonna make money back from the money that you invested, or you're gonna learn something. So you're not really losing. I mean, it looks like you're losing money, but you're really not losing, because you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. It's gonna make you better, and then your return on investment is gonna get better. So don't be cheap, man.
That's the realest advice in this entire call.
You guys are all really a big part of the bigger picture that helps us to create all these systems in place that makes it better for everybody. It's you that makes this community so great. Thanks, OUSMANE, for jumping on, man. And then
Sure, man.
I'm gonna round off with Mark Helton. So if we can have Mark Helton jump on. He's the guy with the peach shirt on. There we go.
Yeah, I'm feeling peachy today. I had to switch up the background, because it's becoming that time of the year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're getting ready for your hiking again. I know you were saying that the winter you kind of slacked off on the exercising and hiking, and it looks like you're getting back.
Can't really do much hiking
form
out here whenever I don't enjoy the snowshoeing. It's not fun times for me.
That's not your gig, huh?
No.
Well, hey man, I just kind of wanted to round off with you about Ethos leads.
Okay.
Something that a lot of people don't know much about, or that is available to us. Give us a little bit of an idea of kind of what an Ethos lead is, and then kind of tell us about what it is that you say on the call. Like, how do you get them to open up and know that you're there to help them?
Gotcha. So the Ethos leads, I like them because they're super high intent. They're people, there's like 1 month old leads, and then there's the 30 to 60 day. I've been picking up quantity. I've been, like I said, picking up a batch of between 30 to 40 of the 30 to 60 days. And what I do, and what they are is that people have recently gone on Ethos, and started inquiring on life insurance. They either started the application or started filling out their information and then just stopped for some reason. And what I found is that one, either it was too expensive for them, two, they don't know much about insurance, they got confused and they backed off. And so whenever I call them, it's really important within the first minute or so to let them know, hey, I'm an underwriter for Ethos, but also as well as 30 other carriers, because you don't want them to get the impression thinking that, hey, you're calling from Ethos because they're like, oh, it was too expensive, I didn't want it. That's exactly why they have me reaching out. I'm a state field medical underwriter, and I work with Ethos, but it's also as along with 30 other carriers, and they just assign me to help you out with the process because there's two real ways to do the process. One, online. That really doing it online limits you to the amount of carriers you can apply for and limits the amount of coverage. Also, you typically get higher rates. Second way is through an underwriter like ourselves. That opens up their option to much more carriers and allows them to create a more customizable policy. Just letting them know, hey, whatever the reason was, we'll find out what you need, and then I'll be able to give you the best rates out there. And in the very beginning, they'll usually open up like right whenever, within the first 30 seconds of like what it is that happened, what it is they're looking for, this and that. So
it's crazy how much quicker they are to the punch, right? Compared to what we've been used to running, like mortgage protection or others. They're a lot of those leads is they know exactly what they want because they've been shopping for a while. So that's kind of one of the things I liked about those as well, which is pretty cool. You kind of get straight to the point. So as long as you're letting them know this is the process, this is what's going to happen, kind of giving them a layout, they're kind of more ready to rock and roll. Would you say that, let's say the last month, what do you think you spent in leads for Ethos, and what do you think your return on investment was?
Well, I mean, I've more than double, tripled my investment on every batch that I bought. And they're, if you buy them, like I said, 30 to 40 at a time, they're only $8 a piece. So if you buy a batch of 30 or 40, that's anywhere to a couple to a few $100s, right? And, just recently, this last batch that I bought a batch 30 over the weekend. I closed one for, 3,500 AP. I only spent $200 on the batch of leads, like 240 or something like that. But last month there's quite a few batches where I spent the same amount of money, $200-300, and I profited probably like between 5 and 7K off each batch.
Wow, man! Congratulations, man! Good job, Mark. That's killer. One thing a lot of you guys don't know is Mark is he's right there at that breakthrough point, but he no longer has to sell feed picks to survive. That was something that he had to do for a long time. So
we're supposed to tell people about that, Paul. I haven't gotten a pedicure in quite a while, man.
Hey, man, doesn't that feel good, bro? Yeah, doesn't it feel good? Hey, don't tell nobody I was your number one customer, but hey, man, appreciate you, Mark. Thanks for coming on such short notice. Appreciate you, brother. And then I don't want to end things here with just kind of having SAMIR be able to talk to you guys about other things that we might not have touched basis on that's available to you guys that maybe we're not utilizing to the best of our abilities, and then other things that are coming out soon in the near future.
The one thing that I will say, as this group evolves and we grow, you guys have heard in this call, a few different people talking about different types of lead programs, different type of policies. I mean, that's what we honestly want to kind of get to, right? This group in here, we work together, we help each other out with some of this stuff, but this business is massive, and it's going to require, for us to grow, it's going to require people kind of adding some different flavors and things like that, bringing things in. The more people that kind of want to chime in and give us some support and step up and offer different trainings. We talked about a variety of things today, right? You kind of know where we're going. We're going to make sure that this group has different tools at our disposal, right? The more tools we have, the more marketing we can get, right? The more marketing we can get, the better quality leads you can get. So I'll end it on that. Appreciate you guys, and see you later today.